Few places are as closely associated with Leamington Spa as Jephson Gardens.
We think of it as a beautiful, historic public space, freely enjoyed by residents and visitors alike.
But its history is a bit more complicated.
At the beginning of the 19th century, most of the land around the growing town of Leamington Priors belonged to just a handful of major landowners. One was the Reverend Edward Wills, whose estate covered much of the north and east of the town. Unlike his contemporaries, Wills showed little interest in development, preferring the privacy of his home at Newbold Common.
But when the Reverend Wills died in 1822, his son, who was also called Edward, took a very different approach. He embraced the expansion of the town, selling land to developers and even donating parts of his estate to the town for the public good.
Will's land agent was the architect J.G. Jackson. He proposed transforming part of the riverside estate opposite the pump rooms into an elegant pleasure garden for the town's spa visitors. Informal woodland walks and an archery ground were laid out, and Newbold Gardens, as it was known, opened in 1834. Wills leased it to a local consortium for 2,000 years at a peppercorn rent. Entry was free for a few hours each morning, but visitors paid admission for the rest of the day, making it an exclusive attraction for the wealthy.
By the 1840s, Leamington's spa trade had begun to decline, and the gardens were struggling financially.
The lease was taken over by a group of trustees led by Dr. John Hitchman, one of the town's leading philanthropists. Hitchman set out to improve the gardens and at the same time provide work for many of Leamington's poor. The grounds were remodelled, an ornamental lake was excavated, and in 1846 the gardens were renamed in honour of Dr. Henry Jephson, whose promotion of Leamington's healing waters had helped make the town famous. In 1849, a magnificent Corinthian temple was built to house a marble statue of Dr. Jephson. The gardens became a symbol not only of Leamington's prosperity, but also of its civic ambition. A grand fountain dedicated to Dr. Hitchman was unveiled in 1869, and an obelisk was built in 1875 in honour of Edward Wills, who'd provided the land in the first place.
A new chapter began at the end of the 19th century when the gardens came under the control of the Leamington Corporation.
Under borough engineer William Louis de Normanville, the area around the river was transformed. The mill suspension bridge opened in 1903, linking the Jephson Gardens with the newly created mill gardens opposite. Tea rooms, an aviary, fountains, and a new bandstand and pavilion followed, creating one of the finest public parks in the Midlands. In 1925, a striking clock tower was erected in memory of 3 times Mayor Alderman William Davis.
Like so much of Britain, Jephson Gardens changed dramatically during the Second World War.
Ornamental flower beds gave way to vegetable plots as the country sought to grow more of its own food. Parts of the main lawn, normally used as tennis courts, were ploughed up for crops. When peace returned, Jephson Gardens became pleasure gardens once more. Between 1951 and 1961, the famous lights of Leamington attracted hundreds of thousands of visitors. Illuminated trees, fairy tale scenes and spectacular displays transformed the gardens into one of the Midlands' most popular evening attractions, drawing crowds of up to 20,000 on a single night.
The final decades of the 20th century were less kind. Although entry to the gardens became free when the last turnstiles were removed in 1971, the gardens gradually began to fall into disrepair and were badly damaged by the floods of 1998.
Their revival came in the early 2000s when Warwick District Council secured Heritage Lottery funding for a comprehensive restoration project. A spectacular new tropical glasshouse and restaurant was built, and the aviary was restored as a cafe. The sensory garden was a new addition alongside the spectacular floral displays for which the gardens were famous. In 2004, the Royal Horticultural Society named Jephson Gardens the best park in the UK. In 2008, Nicholas Dimbleby's sculpture of a mahout with 3 elephants found a new home in the park, adding another distinctive landmark.
Today, Jephson Gardens remains the green heart of Leamington Spa.
Home to more than 140 species of tree from around the world, they serve as a lasting reminder of the vision of the people who created them and those who preserved and reinvented them for future generations. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming to post new content about the history of Leamington and Warwickshire on a weekly basis over the summer. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.